on a long sea voyage to Australia, a little girl from Kansas named Dorothy Gale found herself caught in a terrible storm. The waves crashed over the deck, and before she knew it, she was swept overboard, clinging to a wooden chicken coop. With her was a chatty yellow hen named Bellina, who, to Dorothy's surprise, could talk. They drifted 4 days on the endless ocean until the morning sun revealed a strange and wonderful sight, a vast beach leading to an unfamiliar land. This was the land of Ev, a place even more peculiar than Oz. As they explored, Dorothy and Bellina stumbled upon a message carved into the sand. "Beware the Wheelers." Before they could wonder what that meant, a group of bizarre creatures rolled toward them. They had human bodies, but their hands and feet were wheels. Fleeing from the menacing Wheelers, Dorothy and Bellina found refuge in a small, rocky castle. Inside, they discovered a beautifully decorated room, but it was eerily silent. Statues of people, frozen in poses of surprise and fear, filled the space. They soon met the princess of this castle, Langwider, a woman with a collection of 30 interchangeable heads. Princess Langwider was vain and cruel. She wanted to add Dorothy's sweet, simple head to her collection and tried to lock her in a tower. But just in the nick of time, a magnificent procession arrived. It was Ozma of Oz, the lovely ruler of the Emerald City, accompanied by the Scarecrow, the Tin Woodman, and the Cowardly Lion. They had come to Evie to rescue the royal family, who had been enchanted by the wicked Gnome King. Dorothy was overjoyed to see her old friends together. They decided to confront the Gnome King and free the enchanted people of Evie. Their journey led them to the underground kingdom of the gnomes, a vast, glittering cavern filled with jewels and precious metals. The Gnome King, a stout and cunning monarch, greeted them with a sly smile. He proposed a game. Each of them could enter his treasure room and touch ornaments, guessing which one was an enchanted person from Evie. If they guessed correctly, the person would be freed. But if they failed, they too would become an ornament. One by one, Dorothy's friends entered the treasure room and failed, each transformed into a knick-knack on the Gnome King's shelf. The Scarecrow, the Tin Woodman, even the mighty Cowardly Lion, all fell victim to the king's cruel game. Soon, it was Dorothy's turn. Her heart pounded as she stepped into the dazzling room, the weight of her friend's fate resting on her shoulders. She wandered through the endless treasures, feeling hopeless. Just as she was about to give up, Dorothy remembered something the Gnome King had said. She chose a small, plain-looking purple ornament, and as she touched it, it transformed into the Prince of Evie. Her guess was right. Next came the clever hen, Bellina. She hadn't been part of the deal, so she secretly watched the Gnome King and noticed which ornaments he looked at with pride. Pecking at the correct ones, she freed the rest of the royal family of Evie and all of Dorothy's friends from Oz. Enraged at being outsmarted, the Gnome King summoned his army to attack, but the Tin Woodman had an unexpected weapon. Bellina had laid an egg that morning, and it turned out that eggs were poisonous to gnomes. The mere sight of the egg sent the Gnome King and his army into a panic, and they retreated deep into their caverns. With the royal family of Evie restored and the Gnome King defeated, it was time for celebration. After a grand feast, Ozma used her magic belt to send Dorothy back to her Uncle Henry in Australia. Dorothy hugged her Oz friends goodbye, promising to return one day. And as she was whisked away, she knew her adventures were far from over, carrying the memories of talking hens, wheeled men, and the magical lands beyond the rainbow.